Hey, Right Side Broadcasting, Grace Saldana here on day 2 of CPAC 2021, America Uncanceled in Dallas, Texas. So I'm here live with Joe Kent, congressional candidate for Washington's 3rd District. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
Awesome, great, thank you. So you are picking up a lot of steam since the last time we interviewed you at CPAC in Orlando in February. So tell us a little bit about what you've been doing the last few months.
So we've just been trying to get out as much as we can to every part of our district. It's a very, very big district, very diverse. So been doing events pretty much in every county multiple times. Pretty much with any grassroots group that wants to have me, I'll come speak. Lots of town halls. So there's lots of excitement right now. We unfortunately have a very activist governor who's continuing to keep the state locked down, pushing critical race theory, pushing vaccine clinics and mandatory vaccines on our children. So there's been a groundswell of activism right now, and we've been really honored to help be a part of that right now, pushing back against what Inslee's trying to do and what Biden's trying to do. So we've just been very busy trying to do as much media, obviously, as we possibly can to get the word out.
Yes. So you are a Green Beret.
Yes.
So tell us about your background.
So I spent a little over 20 years in the military, got to deploy 11 times to combat, was in special forces, transferred right into the CIA after that, after I retired from the military. Had intended to stay in that capacity for the rest of my professional career until my wife, Shannon Kemp, was killed fighting ISIS in Syria. About a month after Trump tried to get our troops out the first time.
Wow.
So that's really what put me into the limelight, because I felt that President Trump had gotten it right, and I started speaking out on his behalf, because had Trump's orders been followed, had the deep state not turned against him, my wife and 3 other great Americans would not have been killed in Syria that day. So I intended to go back and work in a second Trump administration, and then 2020 went the way that it did. We saw the big tech, mainstream media all turn against the American people to sell the lie that Joe Biden won the presidential election. And then as Antifa was essentially burning down my hometown, where I just moved back to get my family closer to my parents, my representative turned against the people there and voted for the impeachment of President Trump. So seeing all that, I felt like I had to do something. I view this fight as a continuation of the oath I took 23 years ago to support and defend the Constitution, because right now the left is trying to gain complete and total control of our country, and if we don't fight back, there's going to be nothing left for my children. My children lost their mother when they were very young, and soon I'm going to have to look them in the eyes and explain to them that this is the country that their mother gave her life for, and right now the state that we're in, I can't do that, so I have to go and fight.
It's such an incredible story. I'm so sorry for your loss, thank you for your service, because this is an incredible moment in history, and it's really, we're at a turning point. And I think you represent a lot of people in America who are trying to run for America First policies, and we need to make that change, because the radical left is taking over in places where, like where you live. Yeah. So what do you plan to do for the people of the 3rd District of Washington?
Yeah, so first off, what's on everyone's mind right now, no matter where I go, whether it's an urban center, an agricultural area, or out on our coast, the fishing communities, the first thing people say is election integrity. What are we going to do about the election of 2020? So first thing I want to do is take all the information, all the data that's being gathered from these audits when we get into Congress in 22, lay it out for the American people, subpoena witnesses, subpoena evidences, have a full accounting for the presidential election of 2020, so that we can give the states enough information to pass their own voter integrity laws. And from there, when we lay all that evidence out, we submit impeachment papers for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, and we take our country back that way, because we can't just let this election be stolen from the American people. After that, it's the America First agenda. Right now, our economy is being driven off a cliff because we're running on all debt. That's due to the fact that our elites have been benefiting from our jobs being shipped overseas for decades, legal immigration coming in and taking jobs from Americans that work in the tech sector, and now our economy is running entirely on debt that we're relying on the Chinese Communist Party to buy off. Our number one geostrategic enemy that's at war with us is running our economy by buying our debt bonds. So when they want to, at a time and place they're choosing, if they stop buying our debt bonds, they could crash our entire economy. So we have to get on a wartime footing to bring back manufacturing, deregulate our timber industry, bring back the ability for a person to graduate from high school and be able to support their family on one income and stay in their small town. Because really, this is the morally right thing to do for our people, but it's also a national security issue, because we have to have a self-reliant economy. We have to get back into producing things, and we have to have strong and secure borders. That's what the America First agenda is all about.
Yes, that is a fantastic message. We definitely need to bring everything back home and make sure we are promoting America First and putting the forgotten people of America and give them the limelight. So tell us about your polling. You're going up.
Yeah, we're doing
very optimistic.
We're doing really well. I was really happy with some polling that we just got back. So I'm only trailing Jamie Herrera Butler, who is a 10-year incumbent. I'm only behind her by 7 points. I'm 10 points ahead of my closest competitor. So we're feeling strong, but we're not going to stop. We're going to continue to push forward and really get the word out. I think a lot of it has to do with name recognition.
Yeah.
She's been in power for so long that people just recognize her name. So doing as much media as I possibly can, and then getting everywhere in the district, and then really helping all the grassroots efforts, because there's an awakening going on right now in our country, mostly due to everything that happened in 2020, but then the left's continuing to overstep and get more control. So I want to help out as much as I can on the grassroots and just help take our country back.
Okay, and I believe you were recently endorsed by Turning Point Action.
I was, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, awesome. So do you have any other endorsements?
Yes, I was endorsed by former Secretary of Defense Chris Miller. So he was Trump's last Secretary of Defense. He was also my commander when we were both in Special Forces in Iraq several years ago at this point. So
great
that was
connection.
a great honor. He was my commanding officer,
awesome.
a good deal above me. But then as the Secretary of Defense also, he really worked hard for this country and for Gold Star families. So I was honored to receive his endorsement. I'm also endorsed by Sheriff Bob Songer, who is one of our constitutional sheriffs in the 3rd Congressional District. He's declared his county a Second Amendment sanctuary, so sort of like so we're running on all grassroots donations, so if they can make a donation, I'd really appreciate it.
Wow, so amazing. You put your life for this country, and now you're putting your money, and you've done everything for this country. So we really appreciate your service,
Thank you.
and good luck in your campaign.
Thank you so much.